Hello, this is Jennifer Martinez, and today we're going to talk about the difference between ratios and rates. I have two questions on the left. The first one, number 1, is on ratios. The second one, down here, number 2, is on rates. On the right-hand side, I have the definitions. Let me go ahead and read the first definition. A ratio is the quotient of two quantities. A ratio, in fact, is no different from a fraction, except for a ratio is sometimes written using notation other than fractional notation. For example, the ratio of 1 to 2 can be written as 1 to 2, or 1 over 2, this is fractional notation, or 1 colon 2, colon notation. Notice how 1 to 2, the 1 is in the numerator, the 2 is in the denominator. So for question number 1, it says write the ratio as a ratio of whole numbers using fractional notation. So they want the fractional notation. So the first thing is the 24, that must go in the numerator, and the 42 must go in the denominator. Now, in parentheses here, they tell you to write it as a simplified fraction. So we need to see if we can simplify this. And since 6, if we divide 6, right? 6 is a factor of both the numerator and the denominator. This can be reduced to 4/7. Or, some students do it like this. This can be written as 6 times 4. This can be written 6 times 7. And you can see the 6's cancel, still giving you 4/7 is the answer. Number 2, a rate. How is that different? Well, let's read to the right. A special type of ratio is a rate. Rates are used to compare different kinds of quantities. For example, suppose that a recreational runner can run 3 miles in 33 minutes. If we write this rate as a fraction, we have 3 miles over 33 minutes. This can be reduced as well, just like our example of number 1. 3 goes into both the numerator and the denominator, so 3 goes in 3 one time, 3 goes into 33 11 times, so 1/11. But notice how you cannot cancel. The miles and minutes cannot be canceled. You have to leave the different units. So that is the difference. Notice here we have hours to hours. We did not need to write the hours here. So both of these are ratios, but a rate is a special ratio where the units are different. So let's look at number 2. Right? Write the rate as a unit rate. We'll talk about what unit rate is in a minute, but we have 213 riders in 3 subway cars. They're different units, riders and cars. So when we write this, we can't just write 213 over 3. We have to write 213 riders over 3 cars. Those are different units. So I can leave them out there. I cannot leave them out here. But 3 goes into 213, by the way, evenly, because 3 goes into 21 7 times. This would be 71. Again, we can't just call it 71. We have to call it riders per car. This is what they mean by a unit rate. Unit rate means that the denominator is 1 car. So every 1 car is 71 riders. If this did not go into evenly, you would have to put it into a decimal. They give a little helpful hint on this. When comparing quantities with different units, we must keep the units as part of the comparison. Otherwise, we don't need to. So when they have the same units, like a first example, a ratio, the 3 inches to 12 inches, the inches can be canceled. By the way, 3 does go into both of these. That's where they get the 1/4. Here, different units, miles and minutes. You cannot cancel these. They could still be reduced to 1/10, but you have to keep the miles and the minutes. So here's an example that's not a unit rate, because it's every 10 minutes is a mile. So if you want to make this into unit rate, by the way, we can add that to our list. That would equal, well, you would divide this and get 0.1 miles per minute. So that's what you do if it did not go into evenly. Now it's every 1 minute is 0.1 miles. That is the difference. Hope that helps.